Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Supreme Commanders. Hope you're all doing well. It's coming up to 2:30 on some random Wednesday afternoon. I went and hit the record button. You came and clicked. And that can only mean one thing. Forge lines forever. Hope you're all doing well. The day's starting to get a little longer here in the UK. Nice and sunny outside. Today, though, a ranked 1 versus 1 ladder going down on one of my favourite maps all time, certainly on the 1 versus 1 arena, called, initially it looks like Craig Dunes, more like Crag Dunes, missing either in the middle. 1350 rated, 93% AI balanced, should I say. Now, if we come over to my little screen, you know that I like to do this. Who have we got? The mystery and the plot things. And the answer is going to be something like this versus something like that. I will at one point smoothen that out a bit, but, you know, I like to roll the dice, make things a little mysterious. Code name Bankangle. Those of you that like to fly your sims, especially the Boeing, I'm sure you've heard it when you steer two-shot. Bankangle, Bankangle. I'm not very good at imitating the middle-aged American voice that sounds like he's, well, smoked a few more than I have. Anyways, over into the game then. Let's see if we can resolve this to some extent. As we teleport on over, and there she is. And let's let rip. Being a ranked 1 versus 1 ladder, of course, we've got the traditional red versus blue team. So let's start over on the north side. In red, in Cybran, it's Alexander Berlin. This guy been around almost as long as the, well, Stone Age. At least with regards to Forged Alliance. But, you know, that game's basically been around since the Stone Age, the one that we all know and love. And he is going first land, rated 1302. The slight underdog, 97 points trailing behind. On the flip side, in blue, it's Babushka Lover. We had this guy on, I think he was in a team game not too long ago. 1399 rated. Aeon going first air. And so, kind of unusual on a very small map as this to go first air. It is just a 5 by 5 kilometer map. So one of, if not the smallest map you'll ever see. The only thing separating these two players is this couple of mountainous terrain for those. I'm sure many people will know this map, but perhaps some that like the team games won't see it, well, because you can't really play a team game on it. You can see you've got these two large mountain passes with like a valley or a canyon in between the two, and in the middle there, if we reset the view, we've got quite a little bit of reclaim, at least for a map like this. We've got at least 1,000 on this side. Add in the buildings, it's arguably slightly more. The same again on the other side. We've got also these reclaim patches here, some limited reclaim here, and then the same again on the flip side here and here. And so players are going to have to rush out to those if they want to make use of that. There's also a couple of isolated wrecks in the back. And so far, we've got the light assault bot from Alexander Berlin, the bomber so far from Babushka with 2 kills. And while it's waiting for another target, just chucks a bomb off at the power generators. And that's got 3 power generators are out to go. And look at this, Alexander Berlin manually repairs a couple of them to ensure that they don't go up. Otherwise, he'd have lost all 3 then. Very effective play there from Alexander Berlin. I like it. Does finally shoot the bomber down from Babushka Lover. And what a bomber it was as well. So very nice early doors aggression and counter-aggression. Alexander Berlin with his hunters. As of yet, not with any kills. And so the initial advance from Babushka very much. And look at this. Sends in an Aurora with a scout. Hunter tries to run away. It's took 2. Just needs a little bit more tickling. And one of them goes down. For all his troubles, Is he going to manage that? And look at this. Babushka leaves the way with his scout. He sees there's something else there. He does have an NG moving in, but rather than cancel all those orders, he just goes straight in. Bomber over here, meanwhile, from Babushka, looking for another target. Circling, circling, circling. Gets a bomb away. Doesn't get any kills, but inflicts another huge amount of damage. Circling back around. Is he going to get it this time? Oh, he misclicks slightly. A little greedy with the tight turns and the hover bombs. Doesn't quite get the angle of dangle right. Bomb doesn't come out. Meanwhile, Babushka clears up over on his side. And it looks like at least early doors, things definitely went Babushka's way there with that first bomber. Comes around selecting a new target. Oh, and he still doesn't get a bomb off. Could argue he didn't have line of sight. He's now got 2 bombers in the areas, Babushka. And it looks like their day's numbered. Now this one's coming back round, going for the... Well, he's going for the mass point, but the engineer was too close. Does take the engineer even though it was going for the mass point. But finally, Alexander Berlin takes down both the bombers, the one interceptor there. In comes a third. And that one goes down for naught. Looks like Babushka starting to run out of value there. Alexander finally gets to grips. And so very typical on this map was... It's early at least, you sent your ACU one way, covering one pass, you'd send units the other way, and looks like Babushka, well, it wouldn't surprise me if he's done this 100 times before, and it certainly looks like he's done it 100 times, and yeah, look how delayed Alexander Berlin's opening is, thanks to those bombers, and now Alexander's thinking, I'm having a little go at that. First lot of bombs out and picks off the engineer that was escorting Babushka. And now Alexander with interceptors in the area. It wouldn't surprise me if he forces an attack here with the bombers. He's got interceptors, he's got air dominance. It will force Babushka to have to build. And it looks like, at least for now, Alexander going for the ACU. Perhaps not the best use of a single Tech 1 bomber at this time. Alexander going for the autogun. If he manages to secure this area, and he's going to stand next to it, that will force Babushka back. But Babushka up on the top side with units right there. I'm going to try something I've not done before on the channel, and that is split the screens. It feels like, even though this is very early, we've already got a crucial event going down on minute 6. And Babushka in a right spot of bother here is going to have to move if he wants this game to tick over to minute 7. Down to just 2,400 hit points. Reclaims the point defense with 2,000 hit points left. Wow, Babushka, your best run, and he does now have some reinforcing units come in, and I think that'll probably be just enough to put Alexander off the pursuit. I think we can afford go back to single now. Alexander does look like he wants to pursue a little. Oh, just 700 hit points left on Babushka. And Babushka forced to chuck everything over this way. Does manage to have just enough to prevent Alexander pursuing. So despite the very, very strong start there from Babushka, almost losing his life at the 7th minute. It looks like Alexander's just about getting enough units to the line just to prevent Babushka coming in. Thing is, with the Aeon's range, he's perhaps missing a scout, is Babushka there, but look at this. Babushka with a solitary engineer going through the middle, scooting up all that mass. Take a look, meanwhile, as we approach, just slow time down a tad. So we come up to the 8th minute. Income then, 17 apiece, but if we're looking on reclaim, it's 3.2 to Babushka versus 2.4. That's about a 4-3 advantage for the blue guy, around 25-30%. And that is going to be in large part down to this engineer that was able to scoop up a lot of that mass. Now, he hasn't then just rushed through to try and get the second lot, and it looks like Alexander is going to grab that. And because his ACU is standing guard at the front, I suppose that all of this mass is going to fall into his hands quite comfortably. I'd like to see Alexander send just one unit down. Does he have any idea his opponent is in the middle? No, he does not. But at least it's not immediately obvious, and so either a radar dish or just one flyby with a plane. And here we see it. Look at this. An attack move. Is he seriously? Oh, he's sending his air. I love that. I've got superior numbers. I'm going to pick off one of your planes. Prevent you from getting stronger at almost zero risk to my own forces. Alexander, don't forget this guy almost 100 points behind the red guy, trailing 97. And as we look here, despite the very poor start thanks to Babushka's air rush, so we're looking here at almost the 9th minute, Alexander seems to have gotten him boxed right in. And here's this little push through the center that I was kind of expecting would be natural from a player at this rate. And there we see it. We'll come back to full pace. But now, Alexander's units, look at this. We've got a clump over here. We've got a clump here that's continuing. We've got a clump here. 3 separate clumps. Babushka all in one clump here. Babushka's stronger, therefore, is going to be able to bat aside these units. And it looks like Alexander's recognizing it. He's trying to split his units up, save what he can. And for some unknown reason, Babushka decides to retreat. I think he could have killed all of those quite easily. I think Alexander there, lucky to get away with the 5 or 6 units that he did. He is trying to plug the gap, but it's going to be ways too little, ways too late. Manages to get about a quarter of a solitary wall section complete. I'm just wondering what's his ACU doing. Babushka just sending the odd aircraft in just to keep an eye out. What's he doing? Is he getting gun yet? Is he getting anything? Well, apparently not. Babushka says, I'll have that. 26 kills. And versus Babushka there with 0. So Alexander, 26 kills and looking quite healthy. Babushka with 0 and still just 2,600 hit points is working on the gun. It looks like he's already got the range and is now going for speed as well. And so with that, expect Babushka to be sniper-com on or around the 11th minute. And Babushka now looking very strong through the middle. Alexander chucking an inferior amount of units away into superior numbers. Not good. Not good at all. Recognises it after he lost about half of his force. And now Alexander in a spot of bother. I'd like to see him reclaim this mass. Don't give this mass to your enemy. You've been stood there for ages. You've got a large contingent of units moving through. You've got a sniper comm. You must realise that. I really am surprised Alexander is... At some point, he must realise he's going to have to run. Over on the north side, and Alexander just about hanging on. Again, it feels like it's by a thread here. And Babushka pushing through. Not for the first time. There we see the message. His gun is complete. And Babushka was pushed right back to his little corner not 2 or 3 minutes ago. Has expanded out through the middle. He's pushing through Alexander Berlin's east side. And now running away, leaving this mass. This to me is sad. Here comes the sniper ACU. And yeah, did he just not see it? Was his mind on something else? So we can see, I mean, he's got mass, and even if he didn't have mass, even if his mass coffers were full, reclaim it so your opponent can't get it. And now Babushka looking very strong, minute 12, and Alexander with no gun. or Tech at all. Forced into building Tech 2-point defense in his base. And to get max range, he's got to build it as far away from the opening as he can. And still trickling units away. It's quite sad to see a 1300 chucking units away on and as often as he is. And again, he recognizes it, but he needs to resolve this factory order here. Every time these factories are sending out new units, they're trying to come over here, single file. And at this point, Baboosh just looking stronger and stronger. I'm surprised he's been as cautious as he is. Oh, we do have a Tech 2 rocket bot. Does go down. Tech 1 bomber manages to get 1 kill before getting shot down. Not the best value ever. How does this guy go? Any better? Well, this one gets 4. That's better now. You can live with 4, just about. Looking much stronger over here. Come on then, use your bombers. We've got 5 and 6 kills. Oh, they're going down. They're just hovering. And here we have a nice bombing run here. I have to see this, then we'll go over to the flip side. 2 kills. That one's now 9 kills. Nice bombs. Over on the flip side, and Babushka is kicked out. The Cerberus fire, I assume, is enough. He's quite low health. He realizes he's got to go. Some new text there. Tech 2 HQ from Babushka is initializing. Alexander now getting the gun. Cybran just got the solitary gun upgrade. And looks like Babushka, he wants to keep, he's basically doing the opposite of what Alexander did down here, although he's not using the commander, he's using engineers to lock it down. He's got factories, he's got reclaim, he's got loads of mass. Babushka's just got access to all the mass, all the reclaim. I'm not sure what Alexander was doing. Alexander's not even got the 3 mex points over on his half of the map. All of the ones in the middle are either neutral or fall over to Babushka. And as we're on minute 15 then, income-wise, 36 to the blue guy, 21 to the red in terms of mass. And so Babushka, what's that? Getting basically 5 mass for every 3 that Alexander's getting, and that is unsustainable on a game like this. And we see a Babushka pushing through. Alexander again with nothing to stop it. Alexander with gun now going stealth. And Alexander's got 3 air factories, 2 around the hydro there, a 3rd one here. And at least, oh no, we got 2. We do have 2. And so that's what's enabling Babushka just to pump out more land. He's got more factories anyway, and more of those factories are land factories. How many has Alexander actually got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 2 that are at Tech 2. So, and on the flip side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1 that's at Tech 2, so 9 total for Babushka, yeah. So that together with the income inequality, big time Babushka's way. And now look at this, Alexander blapping away, gun commander. He's got some long-range rocket bots, the perfect counter to the Aeon. Or at least the Aurora. And Alexander getting some fantastic shots in over here. Really, really nice positioning. Babushka caught out of position, I think, here. Look out, all of those kills. Lovely, lovely jubbly. And Alexander needed something to happen, and that is more than something. Babushka forced to continue to retreat because of the low health. just 4,100. Alexander's basically full health, and he's just blamming and blamming. 61 kills and counting. Minor glimmer of hope over here for Babushka. Over on the flip side, but starting to run out of units there as well, thanks to this beautiful position. Hoplite, 16 kills. I've not seen that unit get quite so many kills on this sort of game before. Usually they get 2 or 3, maybe 5. They're microed. They've got such low health. And Babushka all but locked out and kicked out of the top corner. Well, Alexander needed something, as we've said, and he's going for it again. 73 kills. It's a full health. Babushka's on 4,600 and forced to retreat. He is the sniper com. He is going to be able to get some of these units. We saw him there overcharge and overcharge again, and he's about 80% towards his first rank of vet. Babushka will be desperately needing that rank of vet. And Alexander busting through here. This was looking so strong for Babushka a little while ago. Does now have obsidians on the line, and the obsidians will make mincemeat of the mantis scum. Another rocket bot coming in. You best turn around if you want to live another moment or two. And he does manage to get it away. So much reclaim here. Overcharge there from Alexander. I think it went into the floor. Obsidian lives to tell the tale. And has Alexander got enough eco? No, he does not. He is going to struggle to afford that. And I'm surprised again that we're not seeing him. And there he is. He is now getting a little bit of reclaim. I'm surprised there's not more units coming through. And at first I thought this was a futile attack from Babushka, but again we've got the obsidians, at least 2 of them. And that forces Alexander to run away. And run away he does. The obsidians continue pursuing. And managed to pick up a Tech 2 flak as well. And look at this, Alexander is just having his way with this spam. Needs to put, he needs a little more to get his overcharge in. More energy, but other than that, is just doing brilliant. What's Babushka getting now? See if we can see. Starting the shield. Well, that really will help him. That will negate the fact that his hit point health is terrible. And it looks like Babushka happy to chuck away units to tie up Alexander Berlin as long as possible, which will enable him to get the gun. Did he cancel the shield? Babushka cancels the shield. That to me looked like it was 50% done. Not sure what that was about. Alexander now with the Tech 2 air. And this game at 21 minutes already ways longer than what the average game on a map like this would be. And to have turnarounds on this map that, you know, as we saw, I mean, Babushka, despite his strong opening, was almost at death's door at 7 minutes. Well, had he died at 7 minutes, 8 minutes, that would have by no means been unusual on this sort of a map. Both ACUs still jostling over here, and I'm really surprised to not see both players make more of a move for the mass field. Really surprising. And Babushka still looking quite strong over here, which is at least... It was very important because with Babushka's ACU in the middle, this was his only escape route, and he was so low on the health. And now ACU on ACU. Babushka looks like he did get his first rank of vet just. He's now coming in with 6,000 hit points. Alexander... It looked like he was in bother. Gets another rank of vet. 108 kills now. Is a 4-star commander. And with so many Tech 2 Cerberus point defense to walk into, it's going to be quite a safe haven, at least at this stage of the game, to retreat towards. And what finally might look like something going Alexander's way over on the northeast side. And together with these artillery pieces, we've got rocket bots, a few mantis with a little bit of micro. He'll be able to knock this position down if he's got the intel. Is he aware of what's going on? Well, he should be. And look at this, moving in to engage. He realizes there's an undefended front here. And he's already got his new orders. I say already. I think that's been set to go over there the entire game. Alexander takes a look. And Babushka decides, well, time to retreat. We'll put an Oblivion on the door. And yeah, there's only so long you can eat Tech 2 Oblivion point defense fire. From the Aeons. Bosh. Very nice. Sparks flying off the chassis there. And what we thought we might see this. And here it is. Alexander does pick off the factory. Gives Babushka just enough time to send some units in, including a couple of obsidians. There's quite a lot here belonging to Alexander. He may be able to pick it off. At least one of them. And he does get it, then retreat. This point defense here did a lot more than I thought it would for Babushka. I think without it, we wouldn't have seen Alexander retreating in quite the way that he did. Still got these units trickling in from this factory. I think the biggest mistake I've seen all game has been this one factory here, continuously trying to send units here that have just been trickling away to their death the entire game. And now we got the Tech 2 fighter bomber from Cybran, our red player, or our friend in red, should we say, Alexander Berlin. And I used to love these. Alexander and Babushka trading some shots there, but Babushka sending in a couple of rounds from the Oblivion turret alongside the commander's shots, forces Alexander to retreat. Does have 10,800 hit points still, but doesn't want to chuck him away. I mean, he's at 2/3 health, maybe slightly less, despite what is otherwise a high number of hit points. Tech 1 bombers going after the Tech 2 missile defense. I thought they'd go for the engineers. Maybe he's got a tactical missile ready. Or perhaps he just wants his enemy to think that he does. Well, looks like Babushka's doing the same, going after tactical missiles. And at this point, it's a case of jostling and locking down the front and really thinking about it. It's minute 26. Babushka looks like he's got about 2/3 of the map. And Alexander, at least he does have everything on his side of the map. You could possibly argue with the exception of these. But that aside, continues to probe. He does have the stealth on his commanders, so he's able to come out and blap things. And Babushka can't see unless he sends air in. And Alexander using that to great effect. And now we see he sends air in, and as soon as air's in, bang, bang, bang. Oblivion turrets taking shot. And that's going to force Alexander either to run away or to continue trying to attack. Look how many hit points he loses there. with the one consolation. He's well on the way to his 5th star, his 5th rank there on the vet. Overcharges, that's going to be so close. He's about 85% there. Both players looking stronger and stronger and stronger over here. Babushka leading in with the obsidians. So strong with these shields. Alexander Berlin forced to retreat with his weaker, longer range units. And the obsidians are still continuing to get some shots in. Does get one of them. Oh, he's so close to getting a second. That surely got it. No, somehow it escapes. There he goes. Does now finally get it. 2 more, very heavily damaged. This guy with almost no shield. But then Babushka now sends in the mobile shield units to shield the units that have got shields of their own. That is going to look very, very strong for Babushka. Moves in and is going to pick off that Tech 1 mass point. I don't think there's anything Alexander can do about this. This looking very, very strong. Alexander he's no choice but to relinquish all of this territory. And again, with all of that mass reclaim there. Currently, the mass income's 53 favouring Babushka versus just 25 to Alexander. And so Alexander has been operating on about every 3 mass that went Babushka's way. Alexander had 2, but that discrepancy is now every 2 mass, Alexander getting just 1. And not even that if 53 to 25 is to be believed. Alexander operating on less than half of the budget of his blue opponent. Air again. Oh, what a place to hide behind this hill. What a place to hide. And there we go. Oh, he's so close, like 95% on the way to his final rank of vet. Picks off an engineer. I reckon he knows that it's like just send 1 unit my way. And it looks like there, and he's got it. Oh, he's got it. So what continues to happen then? Do you get more ranks of vet? I guess it's completely full. Babushka trying to get the shield there, eating not TML, but mobile missile launcher fire. Babushka now overwhelming forces. Don't send the rocket bots in, you'll lose them. You'll lose them. You've got to withdraw your rocket bots, Alexander. And he looks like he does finally listen to me. Through the tunnels of time. Not that he didn't know it already. He was just focused on something else. And at this point, I'm not seeing anything that Alexander can stop this force with. His commander down to just 2,800 hit points. 2,300. Babushka almost with the shield 95%. And at this point, it's starting to look like game. Babushka's shield completes. Alexander using his ACU to defend his own base. Just 21 mass per tick remain. He's not giving up. He's trying to build shields. Good game. Nice game, to be honest. Good game. Very, very well played, guys. Alexander, you came back so strong from that air. I almost thought that, you could have obviously easily gotten the draw here. You elected, no, I'm going to try and play on for the win. Play on for the win that you did. Somehow Babushka Lover came out of nowhere to pull back on that. Hope you enjoyed that game. And until next time, take care.